But I'll tell you, one of the more difficult aspects of what ends up happening when we cover these stories, when it comes to the citizens of other parts of the world that don't get heard, particularly in Argentina and in Israel, there are citizens who are not on board with what the powers that be are doing. Very often their voices get blocked out.
Because they're generally the working class people.
Very true. And they're also in a hyper minority in a place like Israel. Now, in Argentina, they haven't fully taken over that country yet. But I want to preface this with everything always gets back to economics. And while this is in Spanish, it is subtitled. So I want you to understand exactly what is going on right now in Argentina economically, because everybody was focused on this after the World Cup. It's actually quite devastating how bad things are right now. Here we go.
Story time de cómo me quedé sin trabajo.
Llevan 2 años que no consigo trabajo formal.
Casi 20 de cada 100.000 personas deciden quitarse la vida.
No puedo acceder a cosas que yo antes accedía mínimo una vez por mes. O sea, ni siquiera puedo acceder a comprarme ropa. Yo estudiaba en una universidad privada, tuve que dejar.
Well, we're seeing a typical right-wing fascist effect. That's what happens in states that end up with right-wing fascist authoritarian leaders.
I wish we had some people from Argentina in here right now that can explain it. Prices have more than tripled since Milei took office in December of 23. Tripled.
So that obviously then means that people are having less and having to struggle and can't get by. The voices we'll hear in this country will be the wealthy people. They'll be the wealthy Zionist elite class that will speak as if they are representative of Argentina. They're not. These people are probably mostly representative of Argentina. Unfortunately, their voice matters about as much as ours does.
Or that we even get to hear it. I mean, listen, if you're in the top 10, 20% of the population in any given right-wing country like Argentina is and has been for the past several years, yeah, I'm sure you're doing great. I'm sure you're having a wonderful time. For the 80 to 90% of the people that are not in that class, oh boy, it's tough, very tough. And now it's even tougher. And you don't really think these elections are above board, do you?
No, of course not.
¿Podemos hablar de lo desesperanzador que es ser joven en Argentina?
Tengo 30 años, 2 títulos y estoy desempleada.
Tengo 800 CVs distintos para distintos tipos de trabajo. Hay muy pocas opciones de trabajo y las pocas opciones de trabajo que hay rozan la esclavitud y la explotación laboral.
Tengo
Yeah. So it basically sounds like they are where we are. That's what our people are living with. People here can't afford to live either. So it sounds like they're having the same thing we are.
I mean, we keep saying that the Western alliance is fortifying their positions in South America all around Brazil. Like, this is, in my opinion, this is where World War III starts. Because Brazil is not going to give in. Brazil is backed by Russia and China. They're in BRICS. These other countries that are surrounding them now are all basically Western, right-wing, puppet-run countries. Venezuela, we saw what they did there. Maduro was unwilling to play ball. Does anybody at this point think for a second that the only reason the shit went down in Venezuela is because Maduro refused to play ball? There's no other reason.
No, nobody believes it, but yet we're still illegally holding a democratically elected leader of a foreign nation in our custody.
Of course. And again,
technically, we kidnapped him and his wife.
Absolutely.
They've been kidnapped by a rogue nation.
Pretty much.
Tengo 25 años, estoy endeudado en más de 30 millones de pesos, sin trabajo.
Okay. This is the part that should make you very upset. In 2025, Argentina reported a 22% spike in suicides with over 5,200 deaths. That's a lot.
I don't know. It's probably child's play compared to this country, but
Maybe so.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just, it's, you know, this is what's going to start. This is global. This is global. This is why when you talk about borders and immigrants and the imaginary lines, we are more connected to these people than we're connected to the people in charge in this country.
Oh, sure.
So if I'm going to draw a line in a border, it's going to be between me and those douchebags, not these people.
Well, again, I've always said that.
People.
Well, again, my whole thing about borders is about culture. That's all it really comes down to. But in terms of class, no, it's universal. It's like this all over the world. You know, you can make arguments about, like, you know, India, for example, which is insanely overpopulated at this point. But if you take them out of the equation, this is a universal problem all over the world. It just is. And this is what happens when capitalism is collapsing. Because it isn't just one country that's going to feel it. It's everybody, because the people who pull the levers of power are not going to hang themselves in order to save the world. They're going to hang the world in order to save themselves.
Well, they're trying.
Estoy cansada porque ya no sé qué más hacer. Perdón si me quiebro, pero ya van 2 años de esta situación y estoy desesperada.
Antes el sueño de nuestros padres era la casa propia, tener una casa propia. ¿Cuál es el nuestro?
Yeah, so this looks to me like what we're having here. That people with degrees are unemployed. Young people coming out of school have nowhere to work. And even if you get a job, it doesn't make enough money. So basically, they're living what we're living.
Colin, pull up the story, please. We'll run through this real quick before Mr. Mizrahi arrives. So, question is, in Argentina, how does the citizenry feel about all this? Because this whole projection of, oh yeah, Argentina just absolutely loves Israel, that, you know, this is exactly what we want. This is exactly who we need.
The elites that make money from all the things that are going to, you know, profit from the Zios, you know, moving there. And that's very few people. Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing about what percentage of the country is actually on board with this. They're not. I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't a portion of them that are, you know, and this is why I was a little bit more trepidatious about the way I would talk about Argentina versus Israel. We know in Israel that the overwhelming majority of the population embraces this genocidal Zionist cause.
Yes. Yes.
Whereas in Argentina, it's probably not it's not the same. Is this it, Colin? Because it doesn't look like it. This is not it, Colin. I need the story.
Don't talk to Colin that way.
I need the article about Israel and Argentina. If you need me to send it again, I will, but I know I sent it. That looks like it might be it. No, that's not it.
That's my story.
Oh, brother. Price of doing a show. Colin can't be freed. He is where he is. He gets his bread and water, as I like to say. This is unbelievable. This is why when you have like so many of these stories going off like at one time, I may have just sent it to myself, but okay. So.
Henry, you mean Zio hell.
All right, Colin, pull it up, please. The elites in every country are on board with whatever the American empire wants. That's
where capital is right now. So
Correct.
At least for now,
Correct.
This
is the whole thing about the this is the whole thing about the de-dollarization that's become such a big problem. That's where you know it's going to end.
Iran right now, as far as I'm concerned, Iran is fighting for the soul of the earth.
Yeah.
They are. The resistance, whether in Iraq, whether Hezbollah, whether Hamas, whether Ansar Allah, those are the people that are fighting for the freedom for all peoples. And Iran is funding that. You know, we were always taught they were the largest funder of state-sponsored terror. Well, it turns out they're the largest funder of freedom fighters from our state-sponsored terror. So, yeah.
From World Cup 2026 this past week, Israel loves Argentina, but do Argentinians actually love them back? President Javier Milei has tied his country closely to Israel, you think? But polling shows most people in the country reject the relationship.
Whoever said he looks like a something Wolverine, that's pretty true. I'm going to go with he kind of looks like a pederast Wolverine, but I don't know.
He looks like a very creepy, smelly, disgusting. Wolverine? That's even worse. All right, keep going. Hours before Argentina faced Spain in the World Cup final, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu sent a message to President Milei. You are a friend, a great friend. We support you. We support Argentina in so many ways. Spain defeated Argentina, woohoo, 1-0 soon afterwards. But the match had already taken on a political meaning far beyond its footballing context. Across social media, many framed Argentina as Israel's team and Spain as Palestine's. The symbolism was not difficult to understand. Milei has made support for Israel a defining feature of Argentina's foreign policy. He has backed Netanyahu throughout the Gaza genocide, spoken publicly about converting to Judaism, and pledging to move Argentina's embassy to Jerusalem. Yeah, because those things really work out well. Keep going, Colin, please. Spain has moved in the opposite direction. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has condemned Israel's genocide in Gaza, called for those responsible to face arrest, and recognized the state of Palestine in 2024. Even the team's biggest stars became part of the contrast. Lionel Messi has drawn scrutiny over his previous links with Israel, while Spain's Lamine Yamal displayed a Palestinian flag after Barcelona won the league title. Every patriotic Israeli supports Argentina. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is subject to International Criminal Court, which is probably not going to exist for much longer. Arrest warrant for war crimes and crimes against humanity committed during Israel's genocide on Gaza was not the only Israeli politician to support Argentina. Oh, Ben Gvir is another one. Israel's ministers throughout his cabinet have also eagerly sought to push the comparison. Argentina's ambassador to Israel, Rabbi Shimon Axel Wanish, visited far-right finance minister Bezalel Smotrich before the final and presented him with an Argentina shirt with an official World Cup ball. That's sweet. That's very nice of him to do that. The ICC prosecutor has also reportedly requested an arrest warrant for Smotrich over war crimes and crimes against humanity committed against Palestine and the occupied West Bank. Every patriotic Israeli supports Argentina. Go Argentina, says Smotrich. National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. We will love those who love Israel. Let's go Argentina. Transport Minister Mira Rogev. You get the idea. Let's keep going. But does
Argentina love Israel?
But do they? Jen, why don't you take a shot?
Well, I'm just curious. Does Argentina love Israel? Israel's embrace of Argentina arguably says more about Milei than it does about Argentina. After the semifinal victory over England, one supporter rejected the idea that the national team represented Israel's political camp. No Argentinian that is a real Argentinian supports Israel, she said. Don't believe our fucking president that has been put with money there. So in other words, they're the same as us in that regard, right? Like their leadership, quote unquote, and I use the term leadership loosely, does not represent their populace, is what it sounds like to me. A Pew Research Center survey conducted between February and May found that 55% of Argentinians held a very or somewhat unfavorable view of Israel. Only 21% viewed it favorably. And I'd be curious to know like their methodology and who they talk to, and did they specifically talk to the people that are living in the communities that are being completely Zio invaded? You know, and of course, those people are going to have terrible experiences with the Zios. Netanyahu made it clear that Israel's support rested on Milei rather than the country as a whole. They have a president who's a superstar. Milei is a huge friend of Israel, he said. Speaking to Argentina's ambassador, he added, I don't hide the fact that I'm an Argentina fan. Most Israelis are Argentina fans because President Milei has revolutionized Argentina's relations with us. We have no greater or better friend. Interesting.
What about us?
That's so interesting. Is Argentina bankrolling you?
What happened? They're cheating on us, Jen.
The transformation has been dramatic. Argentina recognized Palestinian statehood in 2010 under former President Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner. Meanwhile, Milei, a self-described anarcho-capitalist who took office in December 23, has since pulled the country into Netanyahu's orbit and made support for Israel central to his international identity. The contrast revives memories of Diego Maradona. Unlike Messi, the late Argentine football icon spoke openly about Palestine and met Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas during the 2018 World Cup. In my heart, I am Palestinian, Maradona said. Well, that makes sense why we'd get rid of him. We can't have that. We can't have people that are supporting the freedom of Palestinians.
Yeah, well, again, everything is driven by capital. That's the whole point.